What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel, Pitolinmotion, a place for busy people and dream chasers looking to achieve their goals in a more efficient way. So if you are new here, welcome on board. I do project management, lifestyle, and also self-improvement videos and a couple of vlogs here and there. I've been doing a vlog lately, so if that's interesting to you, make sure you subscribe. And to my loyal subscribers, welcome back. As you can see, the background is different. Yes, I have been busy. I've been changing my background, and now this is my new background to film in. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you haven't checked out my vlog video on my bedroom revamp, make sure you also do that, because I kind of like really document how I turned my room from zero to hero. And I actually really like it because now it's just more comfy and homely and all of those things there. But yeah guys, that is not what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. Today's video was inspired by one of my lovely subscribers asking me to give a bit more insight into what it's like to be a project manager, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and you know, the real on being a project manager, because a lot of people have this perception that it's just this glamorous job, it's just really fun, you get to meet lots of people, which is true, but you know, all that glitters ain't gold. So I'm gonna give you the real tea on what it's really like to be a project manager. So hopefully if you're looking into getting into project management, or you're kind of like looking for a new direction in life, you can start to consider maybe this could be the path for you. Cool, so I've got some notes down here because I want to be as concise as possible, something that I'm not actually that great at, so you know, work in progress. So forgive me for looking down already, because I'm just going to be going straight to my notes. If you don't know what project management is, make sure you go check out my last project management video, which was how to get into project management with no experience. I give kind of a brief overview on it, but basically it's just the process of getting something that was once nothing from A to B, and managing and executing that process along the way with the help of many other people. So on a daily basis, I more or less just communicate. That is what I would say 90% of my role involves. Talk to other people, making sure that they're on track, making sure that they understand where we're at in the project, understanding the risks, the issues, any kind of escalations that are going on. I manage that process and just make sure that everyone, especially the main stakeholders, are aware of that. Okay, I'll probably do about 80% worth of communicating, and the rest of the 20% I would say is more administrative activities, reporting, or doing presentations, etc. So it's a nice healthy mix, but I would say the large majority of what I do is communicating with people. This could be via email, on the phone, often leading meetings as well. So I feel like if you're not the kind of person that enjoys doing that, and I'm not saying you need to be an extrovert, I know so many banging introverted PMs, you just need to be good with people. I think it'll make the work you need to do, getting things from A to B, a lot easier. So on a day-to-day basis, I'll probably wake up, have a quick call with my team, my core team in the morning, and they're a bunch of like technical people that are working on the project with me, to just kind of understand where we are, making sure that everyone knows what the plan for the week is, the plan for the day, objectives are clear. If anything changed overnight, I'm making sure that everyone's up to date on that. If there's any issues that just popped up, like, and they be popping sometimes, they just be popping up, I make sure that there's a forum for people to be able to communicate that clearly to me, so that no one can say, you know, I couldn't tell you. No, we got a daily meeting in the morning. And it's not compulsory, it's just the state of my project at the moment. That's what I tend to do. Then throughout the day, I will have a number of other meetings with different people, maybe someone in compliance, maybe someone in finance. Sometimes if I need to do a reforecast of my budget, I'll be doing a bit of admin activities. So that's what I was talking about, forecasting my budget, or writing a report on how the project's going, a status update kind of thing like that. That is basically what I do on a daily basis. It seems like all I do is chit chat. Believe me, when you get into the thick of it, it unravels itself quite a bit, but I just want to put a heavy emphasis on the communication side. If you're not a communicator, or you don't enjoy communicating with people, you don't like people, you ain't gonna like this job. So now I'm just gonna do a couple of pros and cons of project management or being a project manager. I want you guys to really understand that, you know, it's not always just what it's written on paper. Sometimes it is, yeah, but it's not always like that. But we gonna start off on a positive note. Let's get popping. So for me, one of the biggest pros of being a project manager is that project managers will always be needed. Wherever there's change going on in an organization, in a business, wherever, you'll need project managers or someone to manage that process. So in terms of career progression or longevity of your role itself, I think project management is fairly a good, safe place to stay. Always thinking like there will always be a project managers needed, there'll always probably be a job for me. Now, depending on what industry you go into will determine, you know, how much demand for project managers there are. So for example, I work in tech. Tech is an expanding industry at the moment, so more project managers are needed in that field. However, I don't know, maybe retail. I don't know too much about retail, so let me not on retail. Either way, project managers are always needed, and as I explained in my first project management video, you can transfer your skills from industry to industry. It's a big plus, so always think about that in the back of your mind. You always want to start a career or be in an industry that is growing, because it will really put your mind at ease that, you know, there will be demand for you. Another thing I personally love about project management is that I get to interact with all kinds of people. If you do not know by now, I'm a people person. I like people. They make me happy. I love being around people. I love interacting. I like talking. I like making friends, colleagues. Especially in the tech industry, they have the best kinds of people. Engineers in particular, they tend to be a bit awkward, but when you get to know them, they're actually the funniest type of personality there is. So I personally love that, but not also just within my team in terms of the different personalities, but if you work for an international company, you have often the opportunity to meet people abroad, and not just like any people, because you as a project manager, you're the face of the project. You get to meet really key stakeholders and build a lot of relationships. Networking is gold these days. Like, you can get so much further by just being a good networker than actually just putting in effort and doing work. I'm not saying don't do that, be doing that, but I'm just saying you can kill two birds with one stone. As a project manager, you also get to just build your skills on the go, and so many skills, guys. So many skills, soft skills that are not just needed like in the corporate world, but also in like normal life. I realized when I started adulting, like stuff like negotiation skills, that is a core skill that people should have been taught at school, because things are expensive, you know. And as a project manager, I do a lot of that kind of negotiating and bargaining and stuff like that, and I realized it came a little bit more natural to me, just because I do it at work. So when I'm like now like, Joe, I can't afford this and I need it a bit lower for something in my personal life, I realized that I've got a nice little leg up, whereas some people might have not got that leg up. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so being a project manager, you're able to build a whole lot of skills: communication, presenting, negotiating, budgeting skills on the go. And also those are just life skills one should have in general. So it's not like you have to put in double the work. Quite nice. Another pro about project management is that you get to create something out of absolutely nothing, and I personally love that, especially in my current role, because what I build is like a physical product. Like, I can see my last year working where I work and I can say, this is what I've been doing, you know. Whereas some industries, it's kind of repetitive work. You haven't necessarily got something you're targeting. You're just doing the same kind of thing again. Nothing's being created. It's kind of like you're just allowing life to go on, and that's great. But for me, I get so much satisfaction from understanding that all this sweating and stressing and all of this that I'm doing with this people is because I'm gonna have something shiny at the end, and I'm gonna be a proud babe. I get a deep satisfaction from that, and as you can imagine, it's a huge accomplishment, so I absolutely love that. All right then, so now on to the darker side of project management and being a project manager, because I'm gonna give you the tea because not everyone will, but I'll do that because, yeah, okay, let's get into it. First of all, if you're someone that does not like change, let me tell you something, this ain't for you, love. It ain't for you. In project management, there can be so much change, especially if you're in tech. Someone will say, I want this today. By 12 o'clock, they want something else. And by 1:30 is another story. And it's kind of like, what's going on here? I think it's just part of the process of getting things going. A lot of people have to make decisions and they often at like C-level don't always agree. You have to be able to move quickly. Your time will be wasted. You will write a report that won't be looked at. You will update a plan that won't be looked at because someone changed their mind, but you shake it off and you continue. The best project managers that I know, my mentors, etc., they are very agile. They know how to move if they need to move. So if you're not into that, you will find this role very, very frustrating. Also, in project management, if you didn't already know, everything's your fault. Even if you didn't do it, it's your fault. Even if someone else broke it, guess what? It's your fault. And you have to explain it. So I think that's the most annoying part to me sometimes. And that's why I work very, very closely with my team. So I understand what's going on. If something's about to break, I don't want to hear about it 2 days later. I need to know about it now so I know how to justify it, etc. As a project manager, it's all on you. You are the face of the project, even though you don't actually build the solution. I've explained this in my last video as well, so if you want a bit more context, make sure you go check that out. But as a project manager, basically, it's you, baby girl or baby boy, it's you. If it breaks, it's you. If it's successful, well done, it's you and the team. But if it breaks, it's definitely you. Don't know where the team's at. So it can be high pressure. But if you're good with people and you know how to manage pressure and you also on top of your project, you know what's going on, it's not that bad. Another thing is project management can get so stressful. There have been times that my heartbeat is just at a constant high. Like it just stays there, just boom, 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 boom. Anything can go wrong at any time. And yeah, what are you meant to do with that? Just constant anxiety. So I would say if you are the kind of person that is anxious about a lot, like me actually, you need to just know how to deal with certain things, be able to let certain things go and not overthink. I definitely struggle with that as a project manager, but I think it happens no matter where you've been. It's usually high intensity. The deadlines don't make sense. So all I'm gonna say is it's not a desirable part of the workload, but it comes in peaks and troughs. It's not always high, but it will be high for a period of time, then you have some downtime. It goes up and down, but when it is high, it's high. So dealing with difficult personalities. That's something you're definitely gonna do as a project manager. As I said, about 80% of the role is communicating with all types of people. I also said this was a positive, but it can be a negative when you're just dealing with some people that is just like, no one gave you meat with your rice yesterday, why is it grumpy? I just feel like some people want to make life difficult for you. I'm convinced, now that I've been working for a certain amount of time, I'm convinced that like there's no other reason why you're being this difficult. If you're not the kind of person that knows how to deal with different personalities, difficult people, you will come across them. And then lastly, I would say a bad thing about project management is the amount of uncertainty there is in the role. Guys, in as much as you plan everything, there's so much you still don't know. So you've got to caveat certain things. So what I call them in project management terms is assumptions. You assume certain things are gonna happen, and based on that happening, I have made this plan and this budget. But the truth of the matter is things change all the time. Your assumptions can prove to be false. And then what are you meant to do? Because they still want it on time at the same cost, but I can't help you because it's changing. Do you get what I mean? it can be very tricky. It can come across like you didn't plan it well, or you just weren't as woke as you should have been, which is not always the case. Sometimes it's just life, you know, life don't go according to plan sometimes. But once again, if it breaks, your fault. They don't want to hear it. So you got to figure it out. Anyway guys, so that is it for this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to just give you a little bit more of the real into project management. I am trying to keep it, you know, as authentic, maybe things that other people won't tell you, because I love project management. I can go on about the bad things about it, but there are a lot of good things, but it's not always glittery. Let me know what other kind of project management related videos you want to see. All right guys, I'll see you in my next one.